Hello. It's a beautiful day to take a walk down the entire Triticum Lane. So you can see for yourself what I've been saying all along, which is the road is in terrific shape, and I give congratulations to all who are responsible for it. But it's in perfect shape. It doesn't need anything right now. Will it need something next year? Perhaps. Would it be good to have a consultant look at it? Yeah, I think so. But for now, and people, you're welcome to spend your money as you wish. But you could spend it on hedges or fence lines or a whole bunch of things, but you don't need to spend it on the road. I'm making this video, if you will, for the length of Triticum Lane, so that I'm not subject to the accusation that when presenting the facts, I'm not presenting all the facts. And these are all the facts. The road is, well, today it's especially pleasant. It's beautiful out. We got a blue sky, and we got a nice road. When I posted to us the short view of Triticum, I had a whole bunch of other people asked about it and complimented us on our roads. And if you want to have a view of someone other than ourselves, you might ask a friend to watch the video and ask them what they think of that road, and ask them what they think a dirt road is supposed to be like. This is a pristine road. I have lived on dirt roads since I came here in '82. Also paved, of course, but this paved road, or rather this dirt road, which is so heavily graded and paved, is not like other dirt roads. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But if this is what we want, right now it's in a good position and it doesn't need to be upgraded any further. And we don't have to worry about its degrade yet. And so we should look at it after the winter snows, if we have any, and see what we need, what it looks like. So you can think of this as one of those things that you put on while you're chewing a sandwich or something. But I wanted to be full and fair about what the road looks like, because maybe some people don't come up this road and they don't look at it and they don't know what it is and how it appears and how navigable it is. This community was composed of both roads, and in the early days when we were sorting things out, people from both roads would get together, and indeed the roads themselves were a discussion point for all the people on both Cassia and Triticum. And I'm not saying that we need to do that again. I think that we can probably, if we communicate, well, in a more relaxed manner, I think we can deal with this ourselves. So I know that remains to be seen. I'm doing this in part because one member of the road thinks that we're not being fair about representing its condition. And here it is, you can see it for yourself. And since you live here, you can get in a car and ride up and down the road and take a look at it. When I first came from well, I guess more densely populated areas, I noticed that the people who come to the country don't always make the adjustment. And that is to say, to embrace what makes country superior and preferential, not for everybody, but for some people. We've had people in this community that were upset that it was dark. Real he-men, and I'm not saying this to make fun of them, it's just that when you're not used to it. And others get upset about the silence on the road because, well, some of us think that's a good thing. And the animals, some think that the animals should be compromised or killed. I'm not of that school. And if we can feed ourselves, why do we have to kill anything? The riding of horses, the raising of livestock, the gardening, the fences, the starry night when The light down here does not compromise it, are all pluses for country living. And if someone wants to have a country experience, one has to go out and get bitten by a couple of bugs. When I was a kid in New York, there wasn't much country where I was. But my parents would go to upstate New York, to Lake George or someplace, rent a cheap cabin, and that's how we found our love of the outdoors. And the Bronx Zoo wasn't far from where I lived in the South Bronx, and you got a taste of country there. So I'll be quiet for a little while. You can recognize the sights and decide for yourself if this road isn't just fine as it is. When I finish this brief walk, this will be a record of what the road looks like end to end. And I think anybody would be hard pressed to say that this road is in need of any repair. And things are changeable. A bad snowstorm, terrible rains, floods, who knows what. But that's not what we have right now. By the way, I'm doing this because I think that if we're going to have a disagreement about what we should do, we should at least all have the same set of facts to work from. And there's been some resistance to that. I don't know why, but there it is. I don't think that doing only what you need to do compromises those who are concerned about curb appeal. The fact that some people may be riding quickly doesn't seem to have affected the road very much. I'm not advising that anybody do that. I think that it's a legitimate concern. You know, particularly since this is a road people can walk up and down. We don't want to kick up dust for people. I have a video of a walk through the area. If some are interested, I'd be glad to send it. But I think it exalts that aspect of country, which is the trade-off, leaving high-density locations for a place like this. No dust, see? So you can go at a decent pace and not kick up the road at all. Now, if some of you decided it's time to get a cup of coffee because we're about 10 minutes walking this road, I quite understand. Of course, you can put it on pause and come back. If you've had a chance to look at the Casio walk that I did, you'll see that they accept a different standard of maintenance for their road, and it's acceptable. We've done, well, almost no acceptance to any impeaching possibility on our road, I guess. But both cassia and triticum are part of the same community. So that should be kept in mind when we're talking about radical revisions to how and at what standard we should maintain our road. Now we're here at the last two driveways. The one on the left is about where I started when I did the earlier Triticum road view. And I did it because people said, well, the road was the worst around where we were. At least one neighbor said that, actually at the beginning of where I started this walk. And so the argument is, if this is the worst place since all the cars pass over it and it's acceptable, then by argument the whole road must be acceptable, because at every point past this there's a falling off. That is to say, where we started should be the least traffic. That is, except for guests, there are only two driveways in the first circle. And so as you come down the road, there are more and more houses and more trips, and that means increasingly that you would expect by logic that the Worst place on the road would be where we are now, but it's not. It's just fine the way it is. And if you compare it to what it looks like on Cassia, you can see that our road is superior in terms of grading and stuff like that. In fact, it's as close to a paved road as I think you can get. And if you wandered around Loudoun County, you would find very few, quote, dirt roads / gravel roads that look anything like this. So, this is the end of the line, and I commend that you look at this and you see for yourself that whatever you think you need to spend this year, I think you didn't have to, but that's an individual choice. I choose to spend my funds on a road that needs help, and I don't believe this one does. I expect when we look at it next year, that may be different, and I'll treat it differently. All the best. Enjoyed walking with you. Be well. Talk to you soon.